have had a hard time. Can she not rest before you roast her?
Nobody is going to roast your daughter, Your Grace, but Holmes is right here. Questions must be asked as soon as possible, as long as the memory is still fresh.
I agree. The girl must be able to tell her story as long as she remembers it perfectly well.
Listen carefully, my dear Watson. This is elementary.
So, darling Margaret, tell these ladies and gentlemen, what happened to you between Monday evening and today, when Constable Oates picked you up on the street?
I had been watching the gypsies on Colonel Moran's ground for several days. I'm sorry that I have caused so much trouble and anxiety, especially to my family and also to the authorities at school. It was not my intention to be troublesome. I was somewhat thoughtless and adventurous.
Hear that, Holmes?
Yeah, perfectly. Thank you, Mrs. Reyes.
You're welcome.
Oh.
I had been watching the gypsies on Colonel Moran's ground for several days. Funny people, colorful clothes, always on the move. They see the world and I just sit here and learn. So the idea grew on me to go away with them for a while. Tuesday morning I woke up early, very early. It was still dark, but I could see them packing up their things. So it sprang to my mind, now or never. So I put on my clothes, took some money, climbed out of the window, down the trees, and ran to them as fast as I could. I spoke with them. They hesitated, I could see that. You know, they are used to trouble. Some man did the trick. I gave them their money and they took me on. At that time, I did not at all think about all the grievance I might cause here in the town.
Grievance indeed, running away with gypsies, I say.
It is all right, my dear. Go on.
They were frightfully nice to me. I soon made friends with the leader's daughter, Esmeralda. We were like sisters.
With that gypsy girl. Leave her!
Go on.
But after 3 days of sleeping on straw and dining on mainly potatoes, it dawned on me that this adventure was only an adventure and at that a crazy one. I missed my school and my family. The thought of father sitting at home and worrying his head off drove me nearly crazy. So I asked the gypsies to take me back, but they had different plans. At least their leader took me to the nearest train station and I bought a ticket to Crowborough. From Crowborough I started to walk home, when I was met by Constable Oates, who was so friendly as to take me here. I'm terribly sorry if I've made a mistake.
You did well, very well. And returning here and tell us a complete story. So, Inspector Lestrade, you see there is no case here. The girl hasn't been kidnapped and she has returned unharmed. There is no mystery about it.
Of course not, Your Grace.
And even Mr. Holmes can say assured that everything is now over.
May I ask the girl a few questions?
I don't see what this might help now. Her story was full of all the information we need. She would tell us if anything terrible had happened to her, wouldn't she?
Certainly, Your Grace. But these gypsies acted against the law by taking her with them. I think they ought to be traced and brought to book. Don't you agree, Inspector Lestrade? Vagabonds and such.
Yes, Holmes, found and arrested.
So perhaps Lady Margaret can recall the name of their leader.
Name?
Yes, or a detailed description of him and his people. How many wagons were there? How many people? What colors were the wagons?
Sir, I don't... they were very colorful and they all looked the same. They all look the same, more or less, don't they?
So you don't know the name? His daughter's name was Esmeralda, you said.
Yes, well, I slept with her in a wagon on straw.
Yeah. What was Esmeralda's father's name?
I can't!
This has been long enough, Mr. Holmes. You have been very patient, I think.
Indeed, this has been going on long enough, my dear. You will now understand that I want to take my daughter home where she is obviously safer than here. I will treat with her fantasies of running away and her disobedience myself. Perhaps I did not always take enough time for her. But I will now, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for your help, as little as it was, and good day.
Constable Oates, find out these gypsies and have them arrested.
Yes, sir.
Another solved case in my career.
Congratulations, my dear Inspector.
Did you really think so, Holmes?
You heard the Inspector, my dear Doctor.
Yeah, that's why. It's Lestrade.
We have no more reason to stay here.
It was nice having you here. You caused some uproar, but you had to sharpen our senses for some of our shortcomings.
Always glad to help. Watson.
Holmes cannot have been
Of course not. The girl's story has been exactly that. The story invented to get us off the track. Didn't you notice her tone while she was telling it? Didn't you see her clothes? Much too clean and nice for a girl who has slept rough for 3 days in a row and on straw. And of course the other girl's name was Esmeralda, and her friend was the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The whole story was a lie.
But why and how?
I must return to London to make some investigations which will help us on. My going away will put everyone at ease here again, and then they make mistakes. That's why I want you to stay behind. Take a room at the village guest house, enjoy long walks, and note down everything that happens at the school. You'll have 2 brilliant informers inside, Miss Beckenham and Mrs. Norton. I understand Miss Beckenham has taken quite a fancy to you, huh?
Well, she's a nice person.
So maybe you want to go out with her while you're staying behind?
How long will you be gone?
I don't know yet. I must investigate a few things. Ask people of dubious reputation questions about other dubious characters. It may take some time to find the right contact. You see, the thing about Colonel Moran living next door worries me immensely.
Do you think he's still...
But of course, you never leave the organization when you're inside. And he's a very dangerous man. A professional killer and with no hesitation at doing his work. The perfect shot at that.
So you think he has to do something with this case? Did he kill Wagner?
Too early to answer all your questions, Watson. Just stay on your guard and telegraph to me as soon as anything mysterious happens. These are deep waters. Where there are secrets, there are lies. Where there are lies, there's danger. Good luck.
Good luck, Holmes.
To make sure that Holmes really took the train to London.
What about Watson and Lestrade?
Watson has moved to the village guest house. It seems he's got a rendezvous with Miss Beckenham this evening. Apparently, he's fallen in love with her.
How sweet. But I don't believe it.
Neither do I. It's a trick. He's staying behind to keep an eye on us.
Why did you have to be so aggressive to him? He wasn't suspicious against you before. He still believes that one of our girls killed Wagner. Thank God he hasn't got any proof for it.
It seems he has got some proof.
How?
It seems there were some blue splinters from Lady Susan's racket in Wagner's head wound. Watson pointed the matter out to Lestrade.
So this is the reason why Lestrade is lingering on. Says he wants to fix some loose strings. It's all a trap for us. They suspect us. We're done. They know it was me.
Nonsense! They have no idea of the greater plan or the dimension of this plot. They think it was just a kidnapping with some blackmail perhaps, and a teacher who accidentally died because he got in the way. What more can they suspect?
I don't know, but I have a bad feeling.
I hear someone coming.
Norton, Holmes' special pet.
Perfect.
What do you mean?
We lay out a trap for them. Leave everything to me, just act along and as naturally as possible. Come back here, Evans. So we can be sure that he's gone back to London. Lestrade will leave us in an hour, and Watson is just a senile idiot. Our way is free.
So what is next?
Let's meet tonight and talk about the final steps of our plan where no one will listen to us. A safe place.
What have you got in mind?
None would dare follow us onto Moran's grounds. Do you know his apple tree garden, the little bench under the old tree?
Perfectly well. The little side door is never locked. What time?
2 o'clock, when everyone is asleep, then we will finish it all.
What a pity Holmes is gone. He would know what to make of this. But perhaps they had me come and it's all a trap. Certainly not for me, though. Anyway, I must tell Watson what I overheard. He will know what's best. He's experienced and clever after all these adventures with Holmes. And he was in the army. He will know what's best.
Well, no nightmares.
Good, but make sure one of the servants always stays in front of her door. Nothing may harm her.
Of course. Anything that I can still bring your graces?
It is all right. We will serve ourselves. You may go.
How sweet you are when you're worried and when you can keep secrets from me.
Am I? Well, I think this evening was a damn waste of time. We should have stayed in and cared for my daughter. It might look suspicious this way. Brandy?
Yeah, why not? Nonsense, darling. Must go out more. You soon be a minister again. Minister. Must meet people.
Well, at least the play was amusing. Sidney Grundy's new woman certainly is a love. But I think he pokes too much fun at women. Women are not as all as bookish as he shows them. Women are on the rise.
Oh, my stupid old darling. Women have never been on the rise.
Eh?
You ought to know. In your whole life, you only had two weaknesses. Your political ambition and women. You always adored beautiful women, and you had your share of them, didn't you?
In this world there are two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, and the other one is getting it. I wanted you so badly because you were young, beautiful, and apparently helpless. And now see what I got.
A young, beautiful lady. You know exactly what you got. And don't tell me you don't enjoy our marriage. I do. And I know you do. I know everything you like and everything that worries you. I know that you occasionally sit in your library and look at these old photographies of that young woman called Bess. And then you cry. Oh, poor darling.
My first real love. I wanted to marry her.
But she wouldn't. But you had a child.
How do you know?
There's very little that I don't know. You took the child in. It's Wilder. Does Wilder know?
How can you be so cruel?
It's part of my character. And it's one of the reasons why women have never been on the rise. We have always been on top. I control you just as much as Cleopatra controlled and directed Sir Anthony. We women don't need to hold any office. We hold the real power. And I know that you will do anything I want, won't you?
Why?
Because you don't want your little darlings harmed. And because you want to have sex with me. And you will only get what you want when I get what I want. Isn't that our deal?
Yes.
And will you do what I want?
Yes.
Then come to bed and get your reward. Help me with my corset.
Are you sure they said 2 o'clock?
Yes, have you got your revolver?
Certainly. There's this
There's this little bench over there. We should spread out and wait for them. It's shortly before 2.
I'm sure it's all perfectly harmless, as any of these unnatural practices can be. The two ladies are quite attractive, I have been told, and having a secret rendezvous. In London, this would be less of a problem. I mean, if they are really not interested in the male sex, well...